Alright, now looking at the basic structure of our external CSS file, or when we're writing our CSS, what we're going to see here in this file that we created in that last video, or those last few videos, is what we have is our selector, whether it is the HTML tag, the ID of an element, a class, an element that has a class. So we're getting a little more specific there. So we have that selector, and then we have our opening curly bracket, and then between our opening and closing curly brackets here, we have our style rules. And the structure of those style rules is going to be whatever the style property is, colon, and then the value that we want to give that style property. So in this case, green here. So background color is the property, green is the value. So we have a colon separating those, and then every one of those lines should end with a semicolon. That way the browser knows that that is the end of the line for that style rule. And then we can add in another style. So here the color property to change the color of the text on the page, and then the value that we want to give to that color, and then again followed by a semicolon, and we close the rules for this body tag styles with this closing curly bracket. And we can see all of these follow that same structure. So we have our selector here, the ID of my paragraph, our curly brackets, and inside of that we have our property followed by the value. Again, another one, property followed by the value, these lines ending in semicolons, and then our closing curly bracket. That way the browser knows we're done styling that element at that point. And now here, what I was doing in that last video, I commented these out. So the structure of a comment in CSS is going to be /* and then whatever your comment is that you need to put in, and then */, and that will end the comment. So here I can see I could put in, color, colon, white, and that's not commented out. It's not green like this is, where this text is green because we have that commented out, so we can tell the difference in our code. So if I save this, then anything that has that class of pink, when I refresh it, we can see the text color did go to white because I don't have that commented out. But if I put the / before and the /* and then the * after, when I save this, those are commented out, so that style no longer happens on our page. W3 Schools has a really great resource on a lot of these different styles that are available and how they work. And we'll use those a number of times as we're doing things. Some elements have different styles available to them because of what they are. For example, your ordered list and unordered list, while we put some settings directly into our HTML with this type equals I, we can set that in our CSS to change that list style type. So here I'm actually going to do that. So list -style -type colon upper alpha. Now when I refresh the page, I can see I have AW, AX, AY. So it's using this upper alpha list style type. And it's AW, AX, AY because I have it starting at 49. So once it got to 26, when it hit 27, it started with AA, AB, AC, and so on. So this is 49, 50, 51, where AZ would be 52 if we went up to 52, and that would be 26 plus 6, so, or 26 plus 26. So that's why it's the AY, AW, AX. If I make this go back to, or I just take out this start equals, then save my page and we refresh this, we can see it's just using ABC. So it looked a little weird because of the way it was doing that. Where this list style type in the CSS, that's not going to be something that's really needed for the paragraph tag. Depending on what you're using your classes for, it might be necessary on something like just a class, depending on how you have that class set up. Or an ID if you have a single navigation element on a page, like a menu, you could give it that ID of main navigation or something like that, and then use the ID to style just that particular list or whatever element you're using there. So that can be helpful for a number of things. But now after this video, you should have a basic idea of this structure that we have for our style rules. Having the selector, our curly brackets, and then our actual rules inside of the curly brackets with the property, colon, value, semicolon, and we can put as many of those styles as we need to within those curly brackets.